Hi everyone, I decided to come to you today with a very helpful video that I've been in and out of the reborn community since 2011, 2012. So I picked up some pointers along the way and I thought I would share them with you. I often see these questions online on the forums and stuff of new people wanting to get into the community and don't really know how to go about it or what to look for. So yeah, like I said, I gathered some tips that I think will be very helpful for these people. So I decided to make a video about it. And if I keep looking over, it's because I have my talking points so that I don't miss any big pieces of information that I wanted to discuss. So I'm gonna start first off of where you would find reborn dolls. I think I discussed this briefly in another video of mine. I'm not sure, but where to find reborn dolls is not actually that hard. You can find them a lot of places. So the first place that I would check is reborns.com because usually there's thousands of reborn dolls right there, and you can just narrow down based on the race, painted hair, rooted hair, all the details. You can narrow it down and find your perfect doll. I just started putting my babies on there because of course you do have to pay a fee to actually list dolls as an artist, but that's a very good place. You know, most of those people are very they're not going to scam you. Another place I would go would be Bountiful Baby, their discourse community. I think it's discourse.bountifulbaby.com. And I would go there because all the people there are like trusted members, and there's a separate section for buying and selling. So I would look there. I usually post there as well. And then another place are the Etsy and eBay type places. You have to be very careful on those places to not get scammed, which means someone would send you a horrible quality doll or not the doll you ordered. I would just be careful on those sites, as well as Facebook. Facebook has a lot of reborn groups that you can search in the search bar, reborns, and it'll show you different groups where people are selling reborns. It's just, there's like 10 or more of them. There's a lot of groups. People are really nice there, but like I said, you have to be very, very careful about scammers because they can't, the groups are so large, like we're talking about like 10, 20,000 people in the groups, that they cannot monitor every single post to make sure that you're not going to get scammed. So you have to kind of take that upon yourself as a buyer to make sure that you get the information required to prove that this doll is actually with that person. And I'm going to go into that now after I talk about another place that you can buy reborn dolls. This is the most secure option, obviously, because you can buy some craft shows, like check your local toy and doll shows and teddy bear shows. A lot of the local artists will go there to sell their dolls, and like I said, that's obviously the most secure place because you're in person, you're looking at the doll, you're talking to the actual artist or the owner of the doll. And yeah, so check your local craft shows. They usually have some relatively close to most major cities. For me, I haven't been to one yet, but I am going to the Rose Doll Show, which is the big doll show in Utah. So that's a place where you definitely could buy a doll in person. So as far as making sure that you don't get scammed, you need to ask for a safety picture. This is very important if you're buying dolls online. Always, always, always ask for a safety picture. A safety picture is simply the person who's selling the doll. They will have put on a piece of paper their name, the date, and some other important information, maybe like the sculpt of the doll or the artist of the doll, and they will put that information on a piece of paper and then have it next to the doll or sitting on the doll, so that you can verify that that person had that doll on that date and it's in their possession. So that's very, very important if you're buying a doll online. I would always, always, always ask for a safety picture. Another big thing is be realistic about the price. Be realistic about the price you're looking for a reborn in, because reborn dolls are a luxury item. They are expensive because they require so much time and energy to paint and make and assemble. Now, I would say the range for most decent, like quality, good quality, whatever you want to say, more experienced quality reborn dolls go from about 300 up. So that's important to take into account. You're not asking for anything unrealistic. If you are asking for a prototype quality doll for like $200, you're going to be disappointed or you're going to get scammed. It's just not going to happen. I hate to say that, but like I said, these dolls do, especially now that I've started making them, I know they take a lot of layers of paint, a lot of love, a lot of care to detail, and they're not made in one day. So just be careful when you're asking about pricing. Now, if you don't mind so much about the overall quality, you might want to check into some of the beginner reborns like me. This doll I'm selling here is this is Lavender Asleep, reborn Lavender Asleep. He's a boy. I can only see him as a boy, but I would be willing to send him as a girl, obviously. But I just started painting, and I'm gonna be selling him only for $250 because he's bald, and like I said, this is my second doll I've painted. So you can get definitely a decent priced doll if you're looking at beginner artists or you're looking at Boo Boo Babies. Now he's fine. Like I'm only pricing him so low because I am a beginner, but he's really I've checked with like the ladies on the forum and they say I'm underpricing him because they think he's painted really well. But yeah, so Boo Boo Babies. Boo Boo Babies are babies that have either something wrong with the painting, the rooting, or just aren't generally up to quality. So, for example, my personal collection doll right here, Lumi, she is considered a Boo Boo baby. So I got her for really cheap, but her boo-boos are so small that it doesn't matter. Like, she's just a little shiny, and then because she is an older doll, I'm talking about she's like maybe 10 to 15 years old. She has some, wear and tear to her, like some of her nail tips are fading, or some paint's coming off on her nail tips, like on the toenails and stuff. And then she has a spot on her head that's a little over rooted. So, but I absolutely love her, and if you're not looking really closely, you won't notice those things about her. So when you are looking at Boo Boo babies, you need to make sure that the Boo Boo they have is acceptable to you, or could be covered, or you just feel like it doesn't matter as much to the overall presence of the doll and your ability to bond with that doll. So I had a custom that I got a couple months ago, and I had to resell because I just could not bond with the doll how it was, and I didn't see any way of fixing it. So that's just, be careful about that. And that was a doll that was not sold to me as a Boo Boo doll, so it was really upsetting. Yeah, so just be sure if you're going to get a Boo Boo doll that you make sure you know what the Boo Boos are before you go ahead and buy it. Another big thing is you need to know what kind of doll you are getting. There is a difference between basically every reborn. You need to make sure you know like what size the doll is. That's a very important thing. So you need to know what size the doll is, obviously, because you need to know realistically how they're going to fit into your arms, how much, like, what clothing they're going to wear. It's a very, very important to know the size. You need to note the size, not just in inches, but in what size clothes they wear. Because inches can be deceiving, like body length can be deceiving of what clothing they would actually wear. So I would tell you, for example, he is probably 20 to 21 inches, and he fits comfortably into 0 to 3 months. And he might be able to wear some 3 months. It might be a little loose, but he fits perfectly into 0 to 3 months. And like I said, he's 20 to 21 inches. So that's him. And then my Sadie that I'm selling, and all the like links and better pictures for these babies will be in the description. But this Sadie, which I'm selling, I would take $170 for, just because she's smaller. She is maybe like, she's 18 to 19 inches, and so she fits a newborn perfectly. So you got to be careful, because newborn can be harder to find clothing in if you're not in a nice, like, well-populated city. And then I have my Lumi here, and she's the biggest one, and she is 22 to probably 23 inches, and she fits 3 months, some 0 to 3 months. It can be a little tight depending on the brand, but mostly 3 months and 3 to 6 months very well. So she's much bigger than, per se, the Sadie I have. So this is all important to note. So when you go shopping for the clothing, you know what they wear realistically, and how, like I said again, how they're going to fit into your arms, and all that. And then another thing to note is, which is why I have these two in onesies, you need to note if they have full limbs or not. Full limbs means the vinyl goes all the way up and no cloth is showing. So he has full limbs on both his arms and legs, so that when he's just wearing a onesie, you can't see the cloth body. And then that's opposed to 3/4 limbs, where, at least when you're wearing a onesie, you can see the legs, the cloth part of the legs. So some kits have a combination of they'll have like full vinyl arms, and then 3/4 legs, and then vice versa. So you just need to note that to make sure you're getting what you want. Like, if you want a baby that wears pretty much anything, you would want a full limb baby like this Lavender Asleep, or any of the reborn kits, because, like I said, they can wear short sleeve stuff and don't have to wear pants to look realistic. However, I will say the 3/4 limb babies are probably a little bit more cuddly, and probably a lot better for younger collectors. So that's important to note about the doll you're getting. Another thing to note is the type of hair. Some people, when they're selling their dolls, they will have the heads covered with hats, and you can't really tell. But you want to make sure you know what kind of hair they have. You need to make sure you note if it's painted hair, which can look not realistic, or it can look very realistic, and can look super realistic, and you won't have to style the painted or drawn hair. And then you would also need to look for if they have rooted hair, like Lumi has rooted hair, or obviously if they're bald. And then if you're looking at rooted hair, you need to make sure you look closely at the rooted hair to see if it's pluggy, which means there's too many strands of hair into one of the little plugs, and it looks kind of like a wig. Or you need to look at the quality of the mohair, because there's lots and lots of different types of hair. It could be mohair, or it could be real human hair. You just need to ask before you buy. Her rooting is not that bad. Her hair's not really fully brushed right now, but it's not too pluggy. It's very newbornish, very soft, very easy to style. But you need to note that about the doll before you buy it, because you don't want to be disappointed if you can't brush the hair or whatever you're looking for. This is probably one of the most important thing about the details that you need to know about. You need to know what the doll is filled with. You need to know if it's weighted and what it's weighted with. This is very important. I've seen on many scammer groups that they receive the doll and that it's weighted with like actual beach sand, and or like aquarium rocks. I've seen all kinds of honestly crazy things that people have weighted their dolls with. And this is bad because these materials, some of these materials will trap mold inside of the doll from the moisture in the air, and then the doll gets really moldy and gross and stinky. So you need to make sure that you ask about what's inside the doll. Or if you didn't, you need to look inside your doll, figure out what's inside it to prevent the doll from eventually just being ruined. If a good quality artist or a decent artist, they fill their dolls with like stuff like polyfill and fine glass beads. This is very different from, like I said, beach sand. Fine glass beads are clean materials that you will find in stuff like weighted blankets and stuff like that. It gives the babies a very squishy feeling in their legs. It's very nice to squish. It's really good quality stuff, and it will weight your baby properly. And that's another thing, you want to make sure that the baby is weighted properly. I would be concerned, for example, if this doll at his size, I would be concerned if he was like 10, 15 pounds. I would think that would be overweighted. And you have to realize that reborns are dead weight, which means they don't help you support their weight. So even a 5-pound reborn might feel closer to like 7 pounds of like a real newborn's normal newborn size. So you have to be careful about that, about the weighting. That's very important, and you need to note where they're weighted. So all my dolls are going to be weighted in the head so that it flops back like that. Like you have to support the head like you would a real baby. I think it adds to the realism. And then his limbs are weighted up to the elbows and up to the knees. That way he doesn't get too heavy, but still maintains like a floppy, weighted feel. Very snuggly, floppy, weighted feel. So it's important to note where they're weighted, as well as what they're weighted with, because you don't want to get your beautiful doll and then it be weighted with things that are going to cause problems further down the line. So I think I hit all of my points. If I missed anything, if you still have questions after seeing this video, please make sure you let me know in the comments below, and I will try my best to my knowledge to answer them for you. And if I don't have an answer for you, I will go ask somebody on the forum, or you can go yourself on the discourse.bountifulbaby forum, and you can ask the question yourself after you become a member of that forum. So I hope this video was very helpful for some of you guys out there looking to join the Reborn community. It's a really great community. While we do have some people who are trying to ruin it for some people, you just you have to try your best to be responsible also as a buyer, and know what you're getting. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and like this video for more videos like this, and hit the notification bell so that you know that when I upload videos, because I don't really have a set schedule, I just kind of make videos as they come to me. I know that's annoying, but it's kind of how I do it. I'm very organic, spontaneous when it comes to making videos. Alright, have a great week and happy Monday.